back to A Pearl in Every Cowslip Seer. This is CLE Language Arts 600, Book 6. Your view from the back of my classroom. 6th grade lesson 7, compare and contrast, exploring some review. Measles sometimes cause or causes pneumonia. Causes, one thing. Measles has the S on it, but it's still just one thing. One thing causes pneumonia. Okay, what is the indefinite pronoun here? Each. And what function does it have in a sentence?
Indirect.
Great. Indirect object. The direct object is job. This us is a prepositional phrase. We're not going to look at that. Don't look at it. Look away from it. It's not what we want. Okay. Comparing and contrasting. Sometimes when you want to write about something, a good way of writing about things is to compare and contrast them. One thing is, if you want to teach someone about something they've never heard of before, the very first thing you'll do is you'll talk about something they do know about. Whenever the people went and landed on the moon, they picked up the moon dust. And how do you think they started describing it? Did they say, this feels like dust on the moon. This is moon dust. It feels like dust on the moon. We have no idea what they mean, but they right away said, it feels kind of like Play-Doh. They're comparing it to something from the earth. They're comparing and contrast so that we now know, oh, we know what Play-Doh feels like. So now we know what moon dust feels like, right? So then we can go further. So we can compare and contrast to introduce new ideas to people, but also just to explore how things are related and how they aren't. And a good way of comparing and contrasting is drawing a Venn diagram. And Venn diagrams can have two big old circles. Actually, if you wanted, you could put a third circle, and that third circle would maybe overlap with all that, but we won't go there. We're just doing two circles today. And let's do a Venn diagram about snakes and lizards. Maybe we should have gone lizards and salamanders. But snakes and lizards, what are some things they have in common? Reptiles. But that is both of them. They're both reptiles. What's true about snakes is not true about lizards.
Lizards have feet and snakes don't.
Good, no feet. They were cursed, and these ones had feet. Anything else true about snakes versus lizards?
They're longer.
I would say, yeah, they usually are longer. Are they bigger, though?
No.
You could almost say maybe lizards are bigger.
They have tough skin, both of them.
Tough skin, we go scales, all the stuff that's true of reptiles, cold-blooded. They lay eggs. Oh, not all lay eggs. Some are born live. I would have to research this, and maybe you would have to research it. Some snakes are born live, I believe. Some lizards, I don't know if lizards have any, or if they all lay eggs. But we could put that if we knew. I don't know enough to put it. Can snakes drop their tails?
What?
Can a snake drop its tail?
Yes. You can break off still.
The slow worms can. But they're not snakes. I think these ones can drop tails. And the snakes can't. Actually, I should research this before I write a whole lot. And because you shouldn't just tell people stuff you think is true. Around here we have the slow worm. It's that big round, or blind snake, that's the other thing they call them. Because they claim they don't really have eyes. But they're often maybe this long, they get up to about this long, and they're just more round and blunt looking. They don't have a sharp looking mouth. I have them all over. Every time I make hay and I put it in piles, and if you go and turn the hay piles, there'll be 2 or 3 sometimes just tangled around each other in there. You can pick them up with a pitchfork and they just kind of lay there. They can drop their tails, but actually, if I understand right, they are actually lizards without feet. And we said lizards have feet. I'm pretty sure that the slow worm would classify as a lizard without feet. Very special kind of lizard, because they can drop their tails, and many times you'll see them with a broken off tail on it. They're harmless, they crawl around in the dirt. What?